Now, the other side of the generational debate, which I think is just as important, if not even more so, has already covered the why I think it's unfair that people born from like 80 to 83, the Xennials, because of someone like Booty Judge, get lumped in with people that are older than them. Why I don't think that's right. It's also just as problematic and just as damaging and just as insulting that people born in like the later part of the 80s don't get any they don't get any respect for being old school, and they just get lumped in with like the Snapchat generation. And no offense to them, of course, but it's just the fact. It's like they're saying that someone born in December of 83 grew up with cassette tapes and photo cameras and the old school the 8-bit Nintendo and all that stuff. Well, someone born in January of 84 is like no different than 19-year-old Snapchat generation. That's wrong. Why do they get no respect for, growing up in the 90s, or even in a little bit, if they have a good memory, even in the late 80s? Why does that get no respect? No acknowledgement, no whatsoever. The best example of this, and you all see it, is AOC. She's turning 30 this year. She's not even that young. I mean, obviously in politics it's very young, but I mean, by and large, 30 was always the standard for being like a full-on adult, even like middle-aged. In previous generations, it was always the gold standard, and yet, I mean, she gets ripped on obviously by Fox News 24/7, people that are on their side, but even some mainstream Democrats like come at her too. They act like she's 12. They act like, or at the very least, like late teens. I mean, well, that's another example. I think a lot of the people that insult her, or they're insulted by her intelligence, that she has better ideas than them. She's a lot smarter than them. What is like not being able to use fossil fuels? What is that, like threaten your masculinity or something there, buddy? I mean, so I think that's a whole other issue. But I'm saying, point is, like, I have no idea what kind of music she likes or what kind of things she grew up. But if she mentioned something from the 90s, even if it was 99, people would look at her like she's just one of those, born in the wrong generation people. They wouldn't look at it like, oh, she liked Green Day when she was a kid, maybe. No one would look at it like that. If Booty Judge said that, they would think it's just part of his, his prime years or whatever. I mean, if you look at the attitude difference between the two, we've never at any point in human history seen something like this where people born literally in the same decade get treated worlds apart. It's as if, instead of it being like a gradual stream, it's like a fucking grilled cheese sandwich that you pull. One way gets thrown that way, and one way gets thrown that way, and they're like worlds apart. The same decade. It's actually, in a weird way, it's kind of interesting when you look at it, because we've never seen that kind of divide before in human history. I don't think we ever will again. But